Secretary Kristi Noem complained about how agents were dressed. CNN reports the taxpayer-funded suits will be U.S.-made and issued after training. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Is this the Tejon?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He's been married for 6 years. Videotaped his wedding day, never watched it. Now and every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis, Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavisTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavisTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
Try to keep it coming. Things ain't always smooth. Oh, wait. But I'll be alright as long as I can find the groove. Yes, I will.
Live from historic Limerick Park in Los Angeles, California. I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley, and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavisSmileyShow.com. That's thetavisSmileyShow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, two conversations. Up first, it's Monday, so we'll start as usual with Dr. Cornel West. Tomorrow night, Donald Trump delivers his State of the Union address after calling his conservative Supreme Court fools and lapdogs. This is your court, Mr. President. You appointed half of them, it seems. And now they're fools and lapdogs for ruling against you on tariffs last Friday. We'll get to that with Cornel West and more, I can assure you. I wonder how many justices, I was thinking about this when I walked in the studio, how many of them are going to show up tomorrow night and sit on the front row like they typically do? He called them fools and lapdogs, and they normally show up and sit on the front row. Y'all see this every year when the president gives the big speech. How many of them are going to sit on that front row tomorrow night? My guess is that they do not want to be humiliated to their faces. Can you imagine? I mean, that may be that may be the reason to watch tomorrow night, to see if the Supreme Court shows up and how Trump just goes in on them to their face on the front row. We shall see. On the B side of our two, some promising data showing fewer black women died from breast cancer in 9 major cities over the last decade. That is good news. We'll speak with Dr. Sonja Hughes of Susan G. Komen. In our third hour, the original bad girl of comedy, Luenell, is back. So we're going to get our laugh on today in the final hour, and we could use a little levity around here right about now. In fact, Luenell is being honored later this week at a special Black History Month event here in L.A., alongside some other legendary comedians, including Martin Lawrence, D.L. Hughley, Earthquake, Melanie Camacho, and Dion Cole. More about that in hour 3. But in this first hour, let's talk politics and more with writer, educator, and radio host himself on WURD in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, Philadelphia, Dr. James Peterson. Before I bring James Peterson online, we'll get to Trump and the tariffs, and there's a lot of other stuff to get to today. But I want to start with this in case you missed it. You've heard me say more times than I can count that I have issues with Gavin Newsom. And I ain't got time to unpack all that right now. But I want you to listen to what Gavin Newsom said to an all-black audience in Atlanta. He's in a conversation moderated by the black mayor of that city, Andre Dickens. I don't need to explain this at all. Don't need to explain it. Just listen to what Gavin Newsom had to say.
You know, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
That's Gavin Newsom trying to use his dyslexia as a way to connect with black audience. I'm just like you. I got a low SAT score. I can't read. I'm just like you. Play it again, Miles.
You know, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
You should have wrote that one and read it so you wouldn't have made that faux pas. Gavin Newsom wears me out. I ain't going to lie about it. Was it Malcolm X? You're scratching when it don't itch, and you're laughing when it ain't funny. So here's the mayor of Atlanta and a black audience, and you hear that sort of nervous laughter in the audience. The mayor even laughs out loud. I don't even know that they knew what to do with that comment in real time. But I'm just like you. I got low SAT scores. I can't read. I'm just getting started. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavisTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavisTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
He's the son of a school teacher and Navy veteran who built a company worth billions and walked away from it. Tom Steyer, pledging to give away half of everything he earned to charity and fight for Californians. So when out-of-state corporations weren't paying their fair share of taxes, Tom Steyer led the fight for Prop 39 and won, earning California billions of dollars for our schools. Tom took on Big Oil to stop them polluting our air and water and smash them. Tom fought for free school lunches so no child goes hungry. Tom Steyer, strong enough to take on the special interests crushing us with the cost of living. As governor, Tom will stop Wall Street from buying up middle-class homes, lower utility rates by 25%, and ban corporate PAC money from our politics. Other politicians talk. Tom Steyer gets it done. Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed with Dr. James Peterson. Okay, James, first of all, good to hear your voice. How are you, sir?
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on as always.
Thank you for your time. Let's jump right in. A lot to cover in this hour. So I want to make sure I'm not the only one feeling the way I'm feeling. I don't think I am. But again, this audience knows.
Wait. Brother Tavis, listen. I'm a 1230 SAT guy. I'm literally a 1230 SAT guy. But there's no score I could have had on the SATs that would have afforded me the access and opportunities that Gavin Newsom has had as a white man over the course of his life. Now, he could have cleaned this up in real time if he was aware, even conscious of what he was actually saying, right? But for whatever reasons, and maybe he's right, maybe this is not the right job for him, but here's the test I want all of our listeners to take. If he has good black folks on the interior of his campaign, they will clean this up in this way. They will apologize flat out, straight up and down. No prevarications, no hedging, straight up apologize. They got it wrong here. And here's the thing. The apology itself will speak specifically about disparities, the racial disparities around standardized testing, particularly the SATs. The apology will speak specifically around the disparities and diagnoses of dyslexia in the black community. You're not like us, bro, because when you got diagnosed with dyslexia, you probably had all the tools and wraparound services to make your way through school. And there are plenty of young black folks in your town and mine, Tavis, that fall through the cracks with dyslexia. So if we can assess the cleanup on this.
Yeah.
If they're smart, right? Immediate, full throat apology here, but then clean it up. Talk about the racist and racial disparities of the SAT and standardized tests all over this nation. Talk specifically about the underdiagnoses of dyslexia in the black community. You are not like us, Governor Newsom, and you know that, and no amount of political campaigning is going to change that. So it's disappointing. You're not the only person that feels this way. For all the right-wing folks coming out of the woodwork to try to jump on him and say, who's not saying that Newsom's right? They need to go back to Nick Fuentes and all their other racist tropes on their end. But for us, I think this is a moment where we can have a clear-eyed view of where Governor Newsom is, and it's one mistake, right?
Yeah.
But man, I hope they clean it up in a way that acknowledges the disparities that make his statement so offensive to some of us.
Let me just say, as we say in the black church, amen to everything you just said. Amen, amen, amen. Now, whether Gavin Newsom's team does that, we shall see. But I want to take a step back, though, because I want to sort of assess, to use your word, assess what allows this to happen in the first place. And this is my issue. How can you be the governor of the most populous state in the nation, the most diverse state in the nation? There are over 100 different languages, James, spoken in the Los Angeles Unified School District. I didn't say in the state, just in LAUSD. There are more than 100 languages spoken. That gives you a sense, and I think people get this anyway, I got a bright audience, of how diverse the state of California is. You've been governor there for 2 terms. You were mayor of San Francisco. And this seems to be some brand of liberal racism on display. And I don't know, again, how you can be governor of that state and let that come out of your mouth. I mean, I understand making mistakes, but you've been around too many black people for too long now.
Governor Newsom's campaign strategists have been telling him to sort of extend an olive branch to people who are different from you politically and otherwise. You'll notice that strategy, Tavis, in him having different right-wing folks on his podcast. They think that this is a strategy that might work in 2028. You and I could debate and probably will ultimately disagree with that. But that strategy in the political realm does not translate into you trying to convene with black folks and try to sell us on some idea that you are like us. You are not like us, and that's okay. That is okay, right? Because solidarity is not predicated on us having the same SAT scores. But for you to paint with broad brushes about intellectual aspects and not acknowledge the racial disparities of the test is just absurd. And thus, it is shame on you more because you represent not just one of the largest and most diverse states in this nation, but a state that really augurs for the future of this country. California is innovative inherently, right? Because of its diverse population, because of the things it has to wrestle with in terms of climate change, because of the things it has to wrestle with in terms of immigration, right? So California as a state is ahead of this nation in a lot of ways, not just policy, but in terms of demographics, in terms of geographics, right? And so as the governor of that great state, you got to be a little more innovative and a little more deep thinking at the campaign stage. He knows how campaigns work, and he's got to understand that this is a miscue, misstep, misfire of the worst order, because you need black folks, bruh. If you think you're going to mount a campaign in 2020, I hope there's nobody entering into the sphere who doesn't understand at this point that you need black folks if you want to secure the Democratic nomination for president of this country.
I said over a couple of years ago, Miles, we got to find that audio. I knew it was going to happen. I said a couple of years ago on this program that when Gavin Newsom runs for president, black folk in California are going to have their say. And we're going to be able to tell the nation what we know about Gavin Newsom inside the state of California, how he disappointed us on the issue of reparations. I'm thinking I'm thinking of Amy Klobuchar. I said this again 2 years ago. We can pull the tape and play it. You know, I ain't Johnny come lately on this. I told y'all this a while ago. This ain't my first rodeo either. When Amy Klobuchar a few years ago was on Joe Biden's short list to be his running mate, and the word on the street is that he really wanted Amy Klobuchar. That Kamala was not the first choice. He wanted Amy Klobuchar. His wife, Dr. Jill Biden, liked Amy Klobuchar. He promised a woman, and Amy obviously fits that bill. But what happens is, James, you'll recall, the black folk in Minnesota started telling all the rest of us what her record was on criminal justice inside that state. And we started listening to those black people, and in large measure, what torpedoed Amy Klobuchar getting the call from Joe Biden to be his running mate was that the Biden team had to wrestle with all these black people inside Minnesota going in on her while he was considering her for a deplorable record, as it were, on the issue of criminal justice as it relates to black people inside Minnesota. Amy Klobuchar finally gets the message, as you'll recall, and she stands down. She says, I'm taking my name out of consideration. But it was the black folk who brought to us Amy Klobuchar's record. Gavin Newsom is going to be in the same situation when we start telling the country what he has done and not done on issues in this state of California while governor. Now, that's put a pin in that. I want to circle back right quick to the point you made a moment ago, Dr. James Peterson, about how the right now is just pouncing. And they're piling on as you would expect. Yeah, having a field day as you'd expect they would. Just listen to this quote from Tim Scott. This is Tim Scott. Black Americans are not your low bar. We've built empires, created movements, outworked, out-hustled, and outsmarted people like you. Stop using your mediocre academics as a way to patronize communities. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't often agree with Tim Scott, but I can't argue that statement, though, James Peterson. Stop. Black Americans are not your low bar, Gavin Newsom.
This is true. I agree with Senator Scott's statement. It's difficult to hear that from Senator Scott, given the way he has moved in and around this president's circle.
Agreed.
Given the way that he has not brought any critique to bear on this president's anti-black executive orders, on the fact that this president's policies are responsible for some 300,000 black women leaving the workforce, the fact that this president's tariff policy has a disparate impact on black communities. If Senator Scott could speak to any of those things, I might be able to hear him say something about Governor Newsom, but he is silent on those things. He smiles in the face of this president every opportunity he's in his presence. And that is all that I see of him in this particular moment, where I think the call on him as a senator from the great state of South Carolina, there's much more required of him than what he's doing right now in terms of meeting this particular moment.
Again, amen, amen, amen. One other thing you raised I want to circle back to, and I want to push to Mike Johnson denying Reverend Jackson the opportunity to lie and repose in the Capitol Rotunda. I want to get to Trump calling his Supreme Court lapdogs and fools. Again, a great deal more to cover with James Peterson in this hour. But you said something else I want to come back to right quick, and I've seen this more times than I can count, and you have too, James, that white politicians, liberal politicians, even progressive politicians, so-called, put their foot in their mouth in large measure because they really haven't been indoctrinated in the black freedom struggle. They've really not been indoctrinated in the black tradition. And part of what gets them in trouble is they ain't got enough black folk around them in the first place. Now, I can tell you this. When Gavin Newsom starts getting asked over the course of his term as governor, how many black people were in your inner circle? Inner circle. Point them out. Who were they? Gavin Newsom is going to have a difficult time. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. He's going to have a difficult time answering that question. So I raised this issue that you raised previously, which is, why we see this so often. These are Democrats who rely on the black vote. There's a reason that Gavin is talking to the black mayor of Atlanta in Georgia to a black audience. We know that he can't win, neither can anybody else win the nomination without the support of black voters, obviously, and yet they keep doing stuff like this largely because they ain't got enough black folk around them, James.
But Tavis, it's like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the Democratic Party. I mean, let's make it. And Tavis, you already know this, and your listeners already know this as well. The so-called political class of the DNC, a lot of the consultants and the people who control the campaigns and the consulting dollars are not in touch with the black community. And more specifically, Tavis, they are not tapped into the needs and political desires of black women. Right, because they and this is for a variety of reasons. It goes back to the Clinton era, to be honest with you. They reuse the same consultants and same strategists and same campaign managers, and they remain disconnected from the black community. And in particular, Tavis, they remain disconnected from the kitchen table issues, the economic issues, the social justice issues that drive black women politically and that they advocate for every day in their everyday lives. And so unless and until they close that gap, address that kind of political dissonance, they are going to come up short in certain ways. This is one way. And again, if Governor Newsom isn't scrambling to find the most savvy and sophisticated black woman political consultant to help him out of this mess right now, then that's his own failure as a candidate for president, for the Democratic nomination for president of these United States. But it's sad that distance can't be closed. This is why if you all go back and read former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's book, go back and read former VP Kamala Harris's book, there's a lot of themes in common there. But one of those themes, Tavis, is that the consultants didn't get it right. That's right. Okay, the political class did not get it right. And so it's time for some fresh faces. And it's not about them tapping the black person that they're comfortable with being in the campaign. It's not about Governor Newsom tapping the black person that he's comfortable with being in the governor's office or being in this campaign. That's not what it's about. It's about getting the most talented black person who understands the politics of the black community in the 21st century. And I'm telling you, Tavis, who has a deep appreciation and understanding of the single highest demographic that votes for the Democratic Party, and that's black women.
I got 2 minutes left here now, and we got the rest of the half hour when we come forward. James hosts his own show on WURD in Philly, so he knows how this clock works. In the next 2 minutes, let me close with this. Again, something else you teed up, but I want to bring it full circle. How, to your mind, should black people view Gavin Newsom the rest of the way on in? With suspicion? Should we forgive him? I mean, if that apology comes in a full-throated sort of way, how should black people across the nation now look at Gavin Newsom for the rest of this campaign?
Well, I mean, man, Tavis, black folks forgave a violent white supremacist who shot up a church prayer meeting at Emmanuel Church in South Carolina. And they forgave him instantly, Tavis. Okay, so even though you and I are going to be less forgiving because we got to talk to people every day. We make mistakes on radio. You make mistakes, but you got to clean it up. You and I might be less forgiving as talk hosts who serve the black community, right? But the black community can be very, very forgiving. But here's the thing. Governor Newsom should not count on that, take that for granted, or in any way take advantage of that. What he should do is mea culpa his way out of this and speak specifically about the disparities, the racist and racial disparities that infect the very things he's talking about, dyslexia diagnoses and SAT scores. Like, bro, you're not like us, and you should say, get Kendrick Lamar to play the song for you so that you can connect the dots in a way that everybody can understand and appreciate, right? And unless and until he does that, no amount of black forgiveness, right, is going to create the kind of energy to bring black folks out, right, to support a candidate at that next level. So it's not about what black folks might forgive him.
Yeah.
But are they going to vote for him? Are they going to knock doors from all the enthusiastic things you need in the campaign require for this moment for Gavin Newsom to step up and be transparent and admit where he went wrong here?
So for all y'all who thought Gavin Newsom was the answer to the prayer, you better rethink. He's coming out the blocks stumbling, and it always seems to me to be the case that black folk are the people they stumble over. I digress on that for now. Jay-Z, Faraji, get an invite to Governor Newsom immediately to come on this show this week. I'm going to text him personally when I get off the air to see what he says, but we're inviting Gavin Newsom on this program. We are in California, his home state. Let's see if he shows up this week on Tavis Smiley. More with James Peterson when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Secret Service and Palm Beach deputies shot and killed an armed man who breached the Mar-a-Lago perimeter early Sunday. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw gave an update Sunday morning.
Nobody was in jeopardy inside because of the quick action that was taken by the deputies and the Secret Service.
President Trump wasn't there and no officers were hurt. The FBI and Secret Service are investigating. Memorial services for civil rights leader Jesse Jackson will be held in Chicago, Washington, D.C., and South Carolina. Jackson will lie in state at Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters next week. Jackson was born in Greenville and was part of the historic Greenville 8 sit-in. And one battle after another dominated the 79th BAFTAs with 6 wins. Ryan Coogler's Sinners made history with 3 awards, the most ever for a black director, and he became the first black winner for original screenplay. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Head to Waba Grill weekdays after 3 p.m. for their $5 happy hour and try their new chili crisp dumplings. Bold, crunchy, and toss in a fiery crisp paired with a premium Waba beverage drink like their authentic Thai tea. Get both for just $5 only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This Friday night, KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to gather with us as we honor a legend. Join us at 7 p.m. at the historic First AME Church for a celebration of life for the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr., civil rights leader and tireless champion for justice. For decades, Reverend Jackson stood on the front lines of change, fighting for voting rights, economic opportunity, and equality for all. Now, the community comes together to reflect, to remember, and to celebrate a life that helped shape a nation. Music, prayer, powerful tributes. That's this Friday, February 27th at First AME Church in Los Angeles, 2270 South Harvard Boulevard. For details and coverage, stay with KBLA Talk 1580.
I am black, beautiful, proud. I am somebody.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Dr. James Peterson, writer, educator, and host of his own program, Evening Words, on WURD in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, Philadelphia. Before I get back to him, a quick programming note here. I just heard the promo here in LA, at least a moment ago. I want to just share this with the national audience. If you happen to be in Southern California this week, we, our home station in LA, KBLA, just announced a major event celebrating the life and legacy of the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. this Friday night at the historic First AME Church. We'll be at Fame this Friday night at 7 o'clock. I can assure you, I just made the announcement hours ago. We were working on this over the weekend, made the announcement earlier today here in Los Angeles. The press release hasn't even gone out yet to the nation yet that we're doing this event on Friday night here in L.A. Jesse Jackson had a big footprint, a huge footprint here in L.A. in Southern California. You all recall the Watt Stacks. That gathering itself is iconic and classic, and Jesse was at the epicenter of that. But over the years, such a huge footprint here in California, and certainly in Southern California. So we're going to honor him this Friday night, and I was about to say that the confirmed speakers are pouring in a matter of hours. We've got some major speakers already confirmed to be with us this Friday night at Fame. It's going to be music. Some great music, some great tributes, some great video of Jesse Jackson. It's going to be a great service. We're going to get in and get out. I don't do nothing long. We're going to start at 7 and be gone by 9, if not before. So get there on time. It's going to be a great service this Friday night, 7 p.m. at First AME Church, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580, and some other sponsors will be announcing in the next day or so, including the Empowerment Congress. That said, again, our guest in this hour is Dr. James Peterson, and I was just thinking, James, during that break, about the fact that Gavin went to Atlanta and dissed us in Black History Month. I mean, we ain't even got out of February yet. This is the 100th
the
anniversary.
crimes are compounding themselves. The longer we talk about it, I'm telling you, we'll find more here.
I'm sure.
There's more here.
We ain't got out of Black History Month, and Gavin Newsom is dissing us. The second thing I thought about during that break was my dear friend. I miss him dearly. Vernon Jordan was my boy. That was my guy. And you recall, those of you who read his powerful best-selling memoir, remember the name of it, y'all? The book was called Vernon Can Read. Now, why did Vernon Jordan name his book Vernon Can Read? I'm glad you asked. Because it was a phrase he heard time and time again by shocked white liberals like Gavin Newsom, who taught him, who couldn't believe that Vernon could read. So he called it, this is the great Vernon Jordan, who that story had stuck with him all his life. And years into adulthood, after he becomes the Vernon Jordan that we know him to be, that phrase was still on his mind, still in his heart. He heard it so many times as a kid. Vernon can read. And that's why he so titled his book, I Digress. I love
that digression, though, Tavis, because here's the thing. If Gavin Newsom really wanted to energize a multicultural base in this nation, he would have literacy at the top of his platform. The literacy rates across this nation are abysmal. In cities like Philadelphia, it's at like 52%, right? If you really care about how you came up and how dyslexia and you can't read speeches right now, why isn't literacy the #1 plank on your campaign?
I love it. I hope Gavin's listening. I'm going to make sure he gets this podcast when we post it later today. Send it to him and his staff while we invite him to come on this program. Let me push to Trump and tariffs in just a second here, but since we're talking about Black History Month, I saw the powerful piece you wrote recently called The Dirty Business of Erasing Black History. Since we're in Black History Month, just go ahead and top line that piece, and I'll tell the audience where they can read it for themselves.
Absolutely. So you all might have heard that federal agents, through federal policy from this administration, had a historic memorial for enslaved Africans at the site of the first White House, the George Washington's first presidential home, removed from 6th and Market Streets here in Philadelphia. A lot of incredible activists from an organization called Avenging the Ancestors, led by attorney Michael Cord, who you know well, Tavis. They were active immediately on that and got after it. It was still a frustrating thing to have that removed, to have those interpretive plates taken down in the heart of Philadelphia, especially in the 250th anniversary of this fragile democratic experiment. You want to erase our history. So I just lent my voice a little bit to that. You know, one of those interpretive plates has a title that says "The Dirty Business of American Slavery." And so I'm playing on that title and my title. Here's the great thing though, Tavis, here's the great end to the story. They had to put them things back up last week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how did you, I saw that story. I wanted to ask you about that. Let's go there now. How did you read them having to put those plates back up? And what caused that? What was the genesis of that? So I love this. This is a perfect segue into the Trump tariff conversation, which is, if we're paying attention to the Democrats in Congress, we might feel frustrated. You might feel frustrated if you're a Democrat and think that the Democrats are not really doing anything to resist this autocratic moment. But if you're paying attention to the courts, Tavis, the courts are racking up some victories. Mm-hmm. And so it was a federal judge here, that essentially reversed the government's order and had the interpretive plates and the rest of that memorial restored. Now it's going to get appealed, it'll go back and forth, but the courts are laying some groundwork and some guardrails for this administration and for folks who have an appetite for any kinds of checks and balances of Trump 2.0. It's coming from the courts. Mm-hmm. I love it. The piece is called "The Dirty Business of Erasing Black History," written by Dr. James Peterson. You can Google it and find it for yourself. "The Dirty Business of Erasing Black History." Dr. James Peterson is the author. Find it and read it. He mentioned it's a great segue to Donald Trump and what he had to say about his Supreme Court. Give it to me, Miles Lowe.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution.
So, James Peterson, I got 2 minutes here right quick. I'm not a betting man. I ain't got enough money yet to lose any of it. But if we were gambling, if we were betting on whether or not SCOTUS shows up tomorrow night at the State of the Union address and sits on that front row, what would you bet?
I think they should not show up. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but they should not show up. Listen, he talked about the wisdom and strength of Alito and Thomas and Kavanaugh, and in Trump Orwellian speak, wisdom and strength is actually ignorance and weakness, right? I mean, those guys are the ones who are going to do whatever he says. He's talking about loyalty voting. in the Supreme Court. He's got that all day long. It's always projection with these guys. You know, either we have a constitution or not, Tavis. The Constitution empowers Congress to levy tariffs. Period. There's no open interpretation to that. And all these constitutions, I thought that Justice Clarence Thomas was an originalist, a constitutionalist. Wait, what happened? Tariffs, what happened? What happened? Yeah. I thought these guys were strict constitutionalists, and now all of a sudden, you know, with Trump, it's insane to think that we're even having this argument about tariffs. But here's the thing I want people to hear really quickly. Tariffs are bringing money into the Treasury. There's no transparency in this government, so we don't know what they're going to do with that money. Tariffs are taxing our communities at disparate rates of the conventional mainstream communities. Tariffs are allowing this government to negotiate trade policies that might favor their family or friends or their billionaire classes. Look at the Center for American Progress's tracker on what Trump and his family have made just over the first year. It's over $2 billion. Right, and that doesn't even include what he's raising for the destruction of the East Wing of the White House. This is just what his family and him are making, over $2 billion already, Tavis. So, like, there's not enough transparency in this government right now for anyone to be comfortable about this tariff policy.
There you have it, Trump and tariffs. We shall see who shows up tomorrow night to get the business. If they sitting on that front row. I can't wait to see it. When we come forward, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, denies Jesse Jackson. I'll tell you my thoughts about that. More importantly, I want to hear James Peterson's thoughts about that. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening.
Charitable listening.
It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
I hang around my boy, he been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now and every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're at KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Correspondent James Peterson, and my time is getting tight, James. Let me just tell you what I said yesterday about this ordeal of Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, denying the request for Jesse L. Jackson Sr. to lie in repose in the Capitol Rotunda. I said yesterday, Speaker Mike Johnson's precedent argument doesn't hold up, since civilians like Reverend Billy Graham, and for that matter Rosa Parks, were granted the same honor of lying in repose in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. Denying a consequential leader like Reverend Jackson while praising him publicly as a great man looks less like principle and more like a politically motivated slight against a towering black leader. That's what I had to say, but what does James Peterson have to say?
Tavis, I'll be honest with you. I'm not objective about this issue, right? Okay. I'm not a journalist about this issue. I love and loved Jesse Jackson. I loved what he meant to our community. I loved what he meant to me as a young man. I loved every time I had an opportunity to be in his presence. I loved every single time I had an opportunity to hear his voice, even over the phone. So I'm not objective about this. I would also say that it's folks like Speaker Mike Johnson, like VP J.D. Vance, or whatever his real name is. Those are the guys that scare me the most in this autocratic leaning towards or careening towards fascism moment, because those are the guys who will smile in your face and stab you in the back. Those are the guys who look a certain way. They may not look as virulent or as crazy as the president does sometimes. These guys look clean cut, soft spoken, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they can do the most harm. It is harmful to this nation to not acknowledge properly Reverend Jesse Jackson's contribution to this nation, his contribution to electoral politics, his contribution to culture, to freedom, to equity, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? And so he can play politics all he wants with. Maybe it's a win for his right-wing supporters, but I see folks like Speaker Johnson for who and what they are. Yeah. They do not have the best interests of this nation at heart.
Speaker Mike Johnson denied him, but we're going to love on Jesse Jackson Friday night here in Southern California, East, 7 p.m. at the historic Fame Church First AME. We will see you there. When we come forward in our remaining moments with James Peterson, I want to circle back to the State of the Union address tomorrow night. Trump has already previewed it today, saying, I've won affordability. That's him. I've already won affordability. Don't laugh. We'll let James Peterson unpack what that means or not when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward?
Because he's not going back.
And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. The midterm election campaign season is here now. The 2028 presidential election is right around the corner. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. It's all in for 2026 and 2028. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Tomorrow night, Donald Trump delivers what is likely the most important speech of the year for him, State of the Union address in advance of the midterms come November. He said today that he's already won on affordability, so he's given us a preview of the argument he's going to make tomorrow night on that particular issue. But as you heard James Peterson and I discussing earlier in this hour, just 4 days before this all-important speech, his Supreme Court handed him a major setback, a major loss on the epicenter of his economic agenda, these tariffs. I say all that to ask James Peterson. I will yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from WURD to tell us what you expect from this speech tomorrow night, or don't expect.
I expect a lot of bloviating. I expect a lot of lies, Tavis. There's going to be a lot of lies. I mean, that's par for the course for this guy. I don't think I'm saying anything groundbreaking to your wonderful listeners. For me, Tavis, I just can't take 3 more hours of this guy bloviating and lying to my face. So I'm going to get the readouts. I'll look at clips, read a transcript. I don't even know if I'll watch. I'm going to be watching the State of the People, which is the black counter programming for the State of the Union piece. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow, Tavis. But it's just how much lying can we take from one all politicians lie, Tavis.
Oh, yeah.
All politicians lie. But how much of that can you take from one politician? Now, this affordability thing is hilarious to me. I don't know if he understands what the concept means, because I don't think affordability has ever been an issue for him or his family for generations at this point. Like, he can't relate to the concept. But to say that you've solved for it is to ignore whole entire classes of people in this country, to render invisible some of the most vulnerable people in this country. It is not affordable to buy a home. It is not affordable to grocery shop. For many people, not affordable to pay their utility bills. For many folks, it's not affordable to even work to try to make things more affordable, Tavis. Mm-hmm. The affordability crisis has not been solved. Trump is not going to solve it. He's going to say that he did and he's doing it, but those are going to be lies. And I hope that folks who have a less of a stomach or more of a stomach for that than I do can watch and pay attention. But it won't be me, good brother.
I feel you. To be truthful about this, as James just said, economic growth is flagging right about now. So for Trump to argue in the midst of all the data points that the economy is underwater, it is, as I said, flagging. To argue that he's won on affordability, that's going to be a fascinating needle to thread, if I can put it that way. What I'm fascinated by is how he approaches this moment amidst a torrent of negative news. Donald Trump has had so much good news over these first couple of years. He seems to be winning on so many things. And James is right. The lower courts have stepped in to save us on a variety of issues over these couple of years. But he has been, sort of flying high, especially when it comes to the Supreme Court, which has rescued him a whole bunch of times. But he heads to the Hill. He heads to the Hill tomorrow night amid a torrent of negative news. We will see how he navigates that. I am always honored to be in conversation with my friend, my brother, Dr. James Peterson, writer, educator, and host of Evening Words on WURD, one of the best programs on radio in Philadelphia. I'm always honored to be on his show, and I'm honored to have had him on ours today. James, talk to you soon, my friend. Stay strong.
Thank you, good brother. I appreciate you.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward. We'll kick off hour 2 with you know who, Dr. Cornel West.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Secret Service and Palm Beach deputies shot and killed an armed man who breached the Mar-a-Lago perimeter early Sunday. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw gave an update Sunday morning.
Nobody was in jeopardy inside because of the quick action that was taken by the deputies and the Secret Service.
President Trump wasn't there and no officers were hurt. The FBI and Secret Service are investigating. Memorial services for civil rights leader Jesse Jackson will be held in Chicago, Washington, D.C., and South Carolina. Jackson will lie in state at Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters next week. Jackson was born in Greenville and was part of the historic Greenville 8 sit-in. And one battle after another dominated the 79th BAFTAs with 6 wins. Ryan Coogler's Sinners made history with 3 awards, the most ever for a black director, and he became the first black winner for original screenplay. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Is this the Tejon? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now and every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in a limo back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
Ordinary people. God uses ordinary people. He uses people just like me and you who are willing to do as He commands. He uses this people that will give their all. No matter how small your all may be to you, little becomes much when you place it in the master's hand. Just ordinary people. God used this plain old ordinary people. He chooses people just like you and me, who are willing to do everything he commands.
I could listen to James Cleveland all day long. Some of you may know this backstory. I was the choir director at my Pentecostal church in Indiana, where I grew up, New Bethel Tabernacle. I was the senior choir director as a kid, but also the junior choir director, and we sang this song, Ordinary People. And it turns out that my father was the lead singer. My father was a great singer. Lost my dad a year or so ago. So every time I hear this song, I think of my little church in Indiana and my directing the choir and my dad as the lead on this song. And years later, I would move to Los Angeles to work for Tom Bradley and had the occasion to meet James Cleveland. And with a tear in my eye, I told him how much his music had empowered me, and all of the songs of his that we sang back in Indiana. Just a moment I had with James Cleveland when I first met him. That's what's on my mind, but this ain't my conversation. It's Dr. West, and he chose the walk-on song. So, Doc, tell me what's on your mind.
Well, brother, you might recall this was a song that was sung after Jesse's historic speech in San Francisco, Our Time Has Come, during the Democratic National Convention. It's one of the great moments in the history of American culture. You got the highest level of rhetorical genius, and then here comes the artistic genius of ordinary people. Now, you know, this was written by Sister Danny Bell Hall.
Oh, yeah.
By a black sister.
Love Danny Bell, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know Danny Bell. She was with Andre Crouch.
That's right.
Coming out of Pittsburgh. But she when she just kind of handed it over to Brother James Cleveland and all of his genius. And the good news, brother, is that you, me, James Cleveland, Danny Bell, Jesse Jackson, we ordinary people. Sly Stone called us everyday people. But we ordinary people who were willing to use our own gifts, no matter how flawed, in order to try to tell the truth, bear witness to justice, and leave the world a little better than we found it. And that, of course, is so much of the history of a great black people.
Yeah.
Doing something extraordinary in love and justice, being ordinary people, and yet still being able to stay in contact with something bigger than us, a king who takes the form of a servant called Jesus.
That's why I love Cornel West. He shares stuff with me that I never knew. I'm always learning at his feet, have for 30-plus years. But he also reminds me of stuff that I've forgotten, and he's older than I am. He reminds me of stuff that I forget. I forgot this was, in fact, the song that was sung after Jesse killed it at that convention in San Francisco. That Jesse was just an ordinary person. It's hard to hear, and nobody could tell it better than he could. You know about Pennsylvania Avenue, but you don't know about Cheney Street. I was born in the slums, but the slums weren't born in me. And on Jesse would go, telling the story of his childhood. And if ever there were an ordinary person who did some extraordinary things, it's Jesse Jackson. And again, he ain't the only one, but it is amazing to me, Doc, when I think about the places from which we come and the things that God blesses us, allows us to accomplish in our lives as black folk.
Oh, that's so true, though, brother. And it has everything to do with a calling. You know, Brother Jesse had a fundamental calling, a very deep calling, and he remained true to his calling. And that calling was connected to courage, and his courage was consistent. And his courage was connected to serving others, especially the least of these, especially black folk. But as you know, he was in solidarity with oppressed people all around the world.
Indeed, indeed. Just getting started with Dr. West. When we come forward, I want to take his temperature in this half hour on Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, denying the request to allow him to lie in repose, Jesse Jackson, that is, in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, where Donald Trump will give his speech tomorrow night, not in the rotunda, but, of course, in the Capitol building. James Cleveland said, just ordinary people. Danny Bell Hall wrote the song, as Doc said, we're just ordinary people. Gavin Newsom says, I'm just like y'all ordinary people. I'm just like y'all. I got a low SAT score. I can't read either. We discussed this in the first hour, but you know I am itching to hear what Dr. West has to say about the way Gavin Newsom came at us in Black History in Atlanta. In case you just tuned in and didn't hear it, we're going to play the clip for you again of what Gavin Newsom had to say and hear what Dr. West has to say about that. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Cornel West on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavisTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavisTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More honesty than you can handle.
More empowerment than you can imagine.
You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
And Dr. Cornel West, I can tell you, because I happen to have some insider information, that Dr. Cornel West is one of the persons who will join us this Friday night. If you're in Southern California at 7 o'clock at the historic First AME Church, he will be one of the featured speakers. He's already confirmed. And others are lining up. I'm literally laughing because while I'm on the air, I go to commercial break, I can see my phone buzzing and ringing. And I'm seeing all kind of big name persons who are reaching out who want to be a part of this event on Friday night. It's going to be a great evening Friday night here in Southern California as we honor the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. He'll be lying in repose at that point at Rainbow Push in Chicago. Spoken at that Saturday morning rally many times with Reverend Jackson over the course of my career. But he'll be lying in repose this Friday in Chicago. We're going to honor him here on the West Coast, Friday night, 7 p.m. at the First AME Church. You don't want to miss this program. Everybody's going to be there. A lot of great speakers, a lot of great music, and a lot of great tributes, including one again from our guest right now on this program, Dr. Cornel West. Before I get to Gavin Newsom, let me just stay with Reverend Jackson for a second here. I want to be clear about this. I am disappointed in Speaker Mike Johnson's refusal to allow Jesse Jackson to lie in repose in the rotunda at the U.S. Capitol. And yet I'm also the first to tell you with the quickness that has nothing to do with Jesse Jackson's legacy. His legacy is locked and loaded no matter what Mike Johnson says or does or doesn't say or doesn't do, even though he called Jesse a great man but wouldn't let him lie in repose in the Capitol rotunda. But here's the point I want to make here. Dr. West, you'll recall in my text, Death of a King, you know this well. I tell the story of the day that Dr. King ran into Billy Graham. You remember this story, of course. Dr. King runs into the Reverend Billy Graham, who also was given the honor of lying in repose in the Capitol Rotunda. Yes to Billy Graham, that Reverend, but no to our Reverend Jesse Jackson. But so Reverend Billy Graham runs into Dr. King one day at an airport. I tell this story again in Death of a King. And Billy Graham says to Dr. King, y'all need to slow down. He said, Martin, you're pushing too fast. You're pushing too hard. You need to slow down. Now, I'm paraphrasing what Billy Graham said, but that's what Billy Graham told Dr. King. Now, here's a man of the gospel, a man of the cloth, but he's telling Dr. King, y'all Negroes are pushing too hard. You're pushing too fast. You need to slow down. That's Billy Graham to Dr. King. Before I get to Mike Johnson, Doc, your comments about that story that you also know well.
Well, it's just another example of the ways in which Christianity has been so accommodating to empire, white supremacy, greed, hatred by too many other people. And it does come in all colors. But Billy Graham is one of the examples of someone who was the most famous preacher in the 20th century. He did try to desegregate back in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
But he always was accommodating himself to presidents. He was the president's Christian.
That's right.
He was the president's pastor. And can you imagine Pontius Pilate believing that Jesus was going to be his accommodating ally? No.
Come on, Doc.
No,
Come on,
it
Doc.
just doesn't work. It doesn't
Doc.
work.
Yes, sir.
No. King said that the cross must come before any flag. Billy Graham never grasped that. He never got that memo.
Just pause in there. That Pontius Pilate reference. I didn't see that coming, Doc. You got me on that one, man. I just had to marinate on that for a second, man. Just noodle on that thing. So that leads me to Mike Johnson. Again, I don't believe that Jesse lying in repose in the U.S. Capitol is the end-all, be-all, and yet his argument was that there was precedent. Yeah, there is, and the precedent was y'all let Billy Graham lie here. So your quick comment on his decision, that is Speaker Mike Johnson's decision to deny the Jackson family Jesse lying in repose in the Capitol. Then I'll push to Gavin Newsom, Dr. West.
Well, I just think that it's true for Jesse Jackson. It's true for Martin King that you don't expect those who have played fundamental roles in oppressing the people that you love to invite you and be the honoree. You just don't expect that kind of thing. And the kind of reward that Jesse, the kind of reward that Martin or Fannie Lou Hamer or anybody else receives is the love in the hearts of the people. And in the end, of course, the smile of the grandmothers and the reward of the God that they serve. Yeah. So in that sense, Mike Johnson is just being true to his gangster self. Yeah. That's all.
I'm seeing all kind of comments.
Just keep on moving.
Yeah, we keep on moving. Doc is right. I see all kind of comments. I'll read a couple of them right quick. Somebody said Mike Johnson is a modern-day purveyor of the politics of erasure. He is a modern-day purveyor of the politics of erasure. Somebody else said the U.S. Capitol is a place for warmongers. Tavis, Reverend Jackson, is not fit to be there. Doesn't even belong there. It's a place for warmongers. I see your comments all over the place in this conversation with Dr. Cornel West. Now, this is the news of the day, at least one of the news stories that I've been tracking. But I am anxious to hear what Dr. West has to say about this. Dr. West is from California. I run to folk all the time who are surprised when they learn that Dr. West is from California. They think of him as an East Coast guy, and he has been all those years at Harvard and Princeton, now at Union, back at Union. So he is an East Coast guy. That's where he's lived most of his life. But he is from California, so he always has something to say about California politics, as he should. But in case you did not hear it, this is the current California governor, Gavin Newsom, who was in Atlanta, seated next to Andre Dickens, who is the black mayor of Atlanta, talking to a black audience. That's all you need to know. Play the clip, Miles.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
I'm no better than you. I got low SAT scores just like you. I can't read just like you. There's so much to unpack there, Doc, and that's why I always love tapping into Doc's intellect, because he hears stuff and processes stuff in ways that I do not. That's why he's Cornel West and I'm just Tavis Smiley. But that phrase, I'm no better than you, there's so many ways to unpack that, Doc, but I digress. The mic is yours.
No, the problem is, again, like Mac Johnson, Gavin just being true to himself, and he got very deep racist sensibilities. You could see that. But I thought he was going in a humanistic direction. I thought he was going to say, I'm just like you. I was born of a woman. I'm just like you. I'm going to die just like you. I'm just like you. I got to deal with the death of loved ones. But no, he didn't go in that humanistic direction. When he thinks of black people, he thinks of lower SAT. Now, see, we see that in the Trump administration, too.
Yep.
That's what DEI and the vicious attack on DEI was. It's this low SAT. That's one of the core pillars of white supremacy. We are less beautiful, we're less moral, and we're less intelligent. So he gonna come before us and say, I'm not intelligent either. I can't read. I don't know how to read. I say, well, brother, we come from a great black people. It was against the law to read for over 200 years. But between 1860 and 1890, we went from 4% literacy to 90%
Come on,
literacy.
Doc. Come on, Doc.
Don't play with us like that when our children are being pushed aside in these decrepit schools and mass incarceration is still in place, and the levels of black underemployment and unemployment are overwhelming, and our black middle class is more and more diminished, and the crisis of black leadership, where you got black leaders sitting up there laughing like he's Richard Pryor or something. Yeah. Get off the crack pipe, black leaders.
I referenced earlier something that you and I have said many times. Brother Malcolm, we scratch when it don't itch and laugh when it ain't funny. So since you went there, let me follow up. That was not a laugh track. That was the mayor of Atlanta and an audience of black people, not all of whom, but some of whom laughed, some nervously, some out loud. But what did you make of the laughter? And again, I don't want to be, I'm not naive here, and I don't want to be too precious here, because I've had many, many moments in my career as a broadcaster where something happens in real time, and I got to process in real time how to handle that. What do I make of what was just said in real time? And oftentimes, we're not at our best on our feet in those moments, and yet I have a critique of that laughter from the mayor and from that audience, Doc. But what say you about that laughter since you referenced it?
It should have been silence, mum, and somebody should have either stood up or told him after. That ain't funny, man. That's not funny at all. Check yourself. Now, I know my dear brother James Peterson. I love him, and I've known him for many, many years, in our years at Princeton together. He said it was a matter of their agents or his advisors and so forth. They're trying to clean it up, and I can understand him saying that. But no, Gavin was speaking from his heart. This ain't a question of what his agents are telling him. He thought he was really going to get laughter because he's speaking from his heart. Well, it discovers there are things in the human heart, Gavin, that are racist. You manifest it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And all of the cleaning up on behalf of your agents or advisors is not going to get at the source of your heart. You need to check yourself
before you wreck yourself, which you tried to do in that particular speech. Somewhere I read, Doc, that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. I read that somewhere. Out of the abundance, I believe it was my Bible. My Bible, as I recall. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. If it's in your heart, it's going to come out. And so I take Doc's point. This ain't just about no advisors. It couldn't have come out if it wasn't in there in the first place. I digress. But I'm thinking, as you're talking, Doc, about Dr. King and that letter from Birmingham jail, and any number of other times he made the point that so much of what we're up against is not the Klan, but these moderates, these white liberals, Doc.
That's true. That's very true, especially the ones who view themselves as being on the cutting edge of social justice, part of the vanguard of struggling for freedom. And yet when you look deep in their hearts, you get the similar kind of remarks that you get out of the Trump administration. Trump says the same thing about black folk. SAT, low IQ, low intelligence. And, of course, all you got to do is listen to Trump, and you can see the level of his intelligence. But that's a whole different thing. Yeah. He's been honest about his gangster activity for 40 years, you know.
Yeah. A final question here. What are the ways in which you expect Donald Trump to try to, speaking of low IQ, the ways in which you expect he will try to bamboozle us tomorrow night in this speech?
Well, it's just going to be more mendacity. Yeah. It'll be more mendacity. I think the real expectation that we have is what you've been highlighting, whether, in fact, that Supreme Court's going to show up.
Yeah.
Sitting on that front row.
What's your guess? What's your guess?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It really is. They might wear an extra layer of their robe, and when he gets up there, just cover their faces and say, "We don't want to hear this mess."
Yeah. They might be wearing robes and masks tomorrow night. Robes and masks, just to cover their faces, man. I'm telling you, there ain't nowhere in the world, and obviously they're invited to every State of the Union address. They decide where they want to come, and it's rare that all of them are there, all 9. It has happened, of course, but there's always a representation from the court. But it's going to be fascinating tomorrow night to see if any of them show up, and who the representatives are. And I'm just telling you, and I ain't telling y'all nothing y'all don't know. I have a hard time imagining that Donald Trump could have the Supreme's court. My friend Judge Ladores Cordell calls them the 6 disappointments, the 6 disappointments to the Supreme Court. I have a hard time imagining they could be sitting in front of him on the front row, and he doesn't go in. So, as I said earlier, that may be...
I don't think he can control himself, even if it's not part of his speech.
That's right.
He'll look down there and see him.
That's right.
And it goes the other way, too. The 3 who have voted for Trump,
yep,
they ought to be ashamed of themselves when Trump exalts them and say they're the only 3 who love America.
Yep. Nope, you're right.
They ought to feel just as shameful as the other 6 who might not show up because Trump's going to go at them. Yeah. That's just how low down the situation is in terms of our society. It's a sick society. It's a decadent culture. It's a dying empire, brother. But we got to fight on anyway.
It might be a popcorn moment tomorrow night. If they're on that front row, we shall see. Dr. West will be live in person with us. He's here. Actually, we'll see Dr. West twice this week. What a blessing. We will see him Thursday for our Black History Month luncheon here in Southern California, honoring these legendary comedians. Luenell is our guest in the final hour today. She's one of the honorees. So Dr. West will be making a presentation about comedy. I wish I had time to just let him highlight it. Maybe you highlight it on Thursday for the national audience. Just the role that comedy has played in the black freedom struggle and what it means to be black and to have to laugh to keep from crying. Dr. West is presenting Thursday at our Black History Month luncheon, and then he'll be with us Friday night as we celebrate the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson at the First AME Church, historic church here in Southern California. Doc, I'll see you this week, Lord willing. Love you, man.
Love you, love you, love you. Ordinary people forever.
Of the master's loving hand. Then you'll understand.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The late Reverend Jesse Jackson will be honored this week in Chicago. Faith leaders gathered at Rainbow Push Saturday, blessing blankets for shelters in his memory.
We met a man by the name of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, who has changed Chicago, who has changed America.
Jackson will lie in state Thursday and Friday. A Louisiana parole board has denied release for Tiffany Woods, the black mother imprisoned 18 years after her infant died during Hurricane Katrina when she fed him cow's milk out of desperation. Woods, convicted of second-degree murder, must now wait 5 more years before reapplying for parole. And two-time WNBA champion Kara Braxton has died at 43. The former Detroit Shock star was remembered as a dominant center who helped lead the team to titles in 2006 and 2008. Her cause of death has not yet been confirmed. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Head to Waba Grill weekdays after 3 p.m. for their $5 happy hour and try their new chili crisp dumplings. Bold, crunchy, and toss in a fiery crisp paired with a premium Wab beverage drink like their authentic Thai tea. Get both for just $5 only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
This Friday night, KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to gather with us as we honor a legend. Join us at 7 p.m. at the historic First AME Church for a celebration of life for the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr., civil rights leader and tireless champion for justice. For decades, Reverend Jackson stood on the front lines of change, fighting for voting rights, economic opportunity, and equality for all. Now, the community comes together to reflect, to remember, and to celebrate a life that helped shape a nation. Music, prayer, powerful tributes. That's this Friday, February 27th at First AME Church in Los Angeles, 2270 South Harvard Boulevard. For details and coverage, stay with KBLA Talk 1580.
I am black, beautiful, fly. I am somebody.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
It is indeed. I'm glad to have you with us on today's program. We always appreciate Dr. Cornel West for his prescient, powerful, prophetic insights. We enjoy talking to Dr. Cornel West. Let me move now from a PhD to an MD. From Cornel West to Sonja Hughes. Dr. Sonja Hughes is Vice President of Community Health at Susan G. Komen, and I invited her on to give us some insight into this data that I've been reading, which seems to suggest, promising data, in fact, which seems to suggest that fewer black women died from breast cancer in 9 major cities over the past decade. This issue always resonates with me. You've heard me tell this story many, many times. If you're ever in Southern California, if you're in LA and you come by my building, the Smiley building on Crenshaw Boulevard, you will see on the front of the building and the back of the building a plaque that is dedicated to Cheryl Flowers, who was my longtime radio producer and sadly passed away at the young age of 42 from triple-negative breast cancer, and that was over a decade ago. And since that time, this issue has meant more to me than any issue concerning black women's health. Of course, I talk about all these issues, low mortality rates and maternity rates. We discuss everything. But this issue is near and dear to my heart, given that I lost, again, Cheryl over a decade ago. So I'm always looking for information that I can share with this audience about progress being made in the fight against breast cancer. With that said, Dr. Hughes, good to have you on this program. How are you today?
I'm great, Tavis. Thank you so much for having me. And this conversation is extremely important, as you just highlighted.
It is indeed. I'm glad to have you. Let me just make the most of the time that we have here. Tell me about this data.
Sure. Well, let me start with where you left off. More than 321 people in the United States will hear you have breast cancer, and more than 42,000 will die. That's annually. And then those that are facing breast cancer will have financial devastation, other side effects. So, of course, Komen is dedicated to making sure folks get the right care, we get it to the right patient, we get it at the right time so everyone can survive and thrive after breast cancer. What our study showed and what we know is that black women die up to 40% more and sometimes higher in some communities, more than their white counterpart. And so that was what was so hugely important with why Komen took this information and did some interventions. And now we're happy to report that in the 10 metropolitan areas where we implemented some interventions, in 9 of those cities, black women, the mortality rate still not equal, but it did decrease.
Tell me about these cities.
Sure. So first of all, this all started back when some data came out from the American Cancer Society in 2018. And it showed that breast cancer mortality rate had declined, but there was still this disparity. Black women were dying 40% more than their white counterparts. So in 2015, we partnered with the Fund2 Foundation, and we started a revolution called Stand for Her, Health Equity Revolution. And we looked at the 10 metropolitan areas that had the highest inequities, and they were Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, Los Angeles, Memphis, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Virginia Beach, and Washington, D.C. And the main purpose of looking at those 10 cities was to figure out what was the underlying cause of the inequities across Black women that was causing this disparity. And at that time, we learned that through focus groups, through literature, through data, through landscape analysis, we heard over and over some of the things that we already know, that women were saying that they did not have equal access to availability of services. When they did hear about services, they weren't aware at the time, or there weren't a lot of free resources for younger women or where younger women congregated. What was interesting also at that time, providers were expressing concerns about quality screening in facilities for low income. And there were also, at that time, multiple accounts of people's deductibles being too high. And survivors and undiagnosed women just didn't trust the healthcare system. Or they had a personal experience with, an implicit bias or racism. And so they just didn't trust the system. And so that's where we started our interventions with the information that we learned.
Tell me what intervention looks like when you tap into this geography. You have these 9 major urban centers, 10 I should say, major urban centers, and you find the underlying causes for these inequities, and then you decide you want to intervene. Intervention looks like what, Dr. Hughes?
Sure. So based on what we heard, when people told us that they didn't know about resources or there were financial difficulties, we established a patient care center. It's a virtual center, it's a telehealth center where anyone can call to ask about any resources as it relates to breast cancer. On any given day, we service over 300 people, so anyone can call with any question. And so if you don't know where the resources are, you can call Komen. So that was number one. We wanted a way for no matter where you were, you could call us for resources and we would have the answer. Secondly, we would learn as much as we could about those local metropolitan areas. So if they called us about resources, we could give them local information. And then thirdly, as it relates to our patient care center, what we also learned was the financial toxicity. So Komen established a financial assistance program for those who are currently in treatment and currently living with metastatic breast cancer to provide financial assistance to those who met the qualifications. So that's one aspect of what we did. Another aspect, that was with education. We've also begun to publish education at places where people would find them, on the internet, YouTube, podcasts, website, etc. So patient support, education. We also felt like we needed to develop the workforce. When providers were concerned about the quality of screening and then patients were concerned about trusting the healthcare providers, we began to implement quality workshops for providers in these 10 cities that cared for underserved and marginalized populations, so that we could give them cultural competency skills. We could give them the basis for quality of care. And we would help them with reestablishing trust with those patients, as well as implementing patient navigation. And with that, I mean, a lot of times when people are diagnosed with breast cancer, their oncologist or their oncology clinic will have navigators to help them set appointments and get medications, et cetera. But what about at night when you have questions? What about when you didn't hear what the doctor said? Anyone going through breast cancer treatment can call our patient care center and get a navigator. And we begin to train navigators in these 10 cities so that women going through breast cancer could have a navigator with similar interests, similar backgrounds that could walk with them and be with them throughout their care as long as they needed them free of charge.
Yeah.
So those were three of the things we did so far.
As I said, I've been tracking this issue pretty aggressively over the last decade plus since I lost my producer, Cheryl Flowers, again at the age of 42 to triple-negative breast cancer, and we've made some progress clearly in that area. Triple-negative, I have Dr. Olapati on out of Chicago every year on this program in October to update us on how we're doing specifically on triple-negative, so we're making progress in that regard. But here's the part that jumped out at me, and I want to give Dr. Hughes a chance to respond to this when we come forward. But a couple things she said that jumped out at me. The first tier of their intervention was education and information. And I got a question about that because I'm concerned that after all these years, we are still in a space where we have to do a better job of informing and educating black women about breast cancer. So I want to just drill down on that a little bit. You heard her mention the financial toxicity, and I'm glad that Komen stepped up to provide some resources to help these women out. But that raises the question of whether or not this really is all that promising. Put another way, can this be scaled up and at what cost? There are other questions for Dr. Hughes, which I'll put to her when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking.
That's what we do around here.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He's been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now and every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park,
Los Angeles, California.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Dr. Sonja Hughes, OBGYN, Vice President of Community Health at Susan G. Komen. Honored to have you on this program to spread some good news. It ain't often that we get good news about any form of cancer, but there is some good news on cancer. Promising data, in case you've just tuned in, that shows that fewer black women died from breast cancer in 9 major cities over the past decade, thanks to an intervention from Komen. But the top tier of that intervention, Dr. Hughes, as you said earlier, was education and information. I'm all for that. That's what I do every day behind this microphone, try to share information. So I believe in educating the public, and yet it is fascinating to me, for all the years I've been tracking this, that we still are trying to find better ways to educate and inform black women. What say you about that reality?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And in my years of practice, it amazed me as well as just the how we lag in education about our own bodies and our own health. Mm-hmm. But in addition to the consistent education, there's a few other aspects that we can do in addition to continuing to get the right information at channels where people will actually listen and read. You mentioned research earlier. Mm-hmm. We still have to invest in research. And I will say Komen has invested in 29 of the 30 medications that are currently available for breast cancer treatment now. We know how important research is, and investing in disparities of research to also understand this intersection of biology, behavior, social system. We invest in young researchers and scientists. We invest in those that make sure the studies are diverse, because the diversity of the studies give the cures that will impact everyone. And so while we're continuing to educate the population and the patients, we have to continue to educate those that are studying for a cure and those that are trying to find a cure. And in fact, we have a registry now for people who have ever had breast cancer. It's called our Share for Cures. And we want to have a diversity in that study, because we're going to take the information about patients with cancer to learn how to treat those that will develop breast cancer and perhaps even prevent the disease altogether. The other aspect that has to go along with education, to answer your question also, Tavis, is advocacy. Mm-hmm. We must continue to advocacy for policies, because even when people are educated, if the policies aren't expanded for us to take advantage of those, of that increased education and that increased access, then we won't alleviate the problem. And so that's one area in which Komen listened, and in these 10 major cities continue to advocate for policies that would impact not only women with breast cancer, but specifically black women with breast cancer.
I've got 2 remaining questions for Dr. Sonja Hughes when we come forward here on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
He's the son of a school teacher and Navy veteran who built a company worth billions and walked away from it. Tom Steyer, pledging to give away half of everything he earned to charity and fight for Californians. So when out-of-state corporations weren't paying their fair share of taxes, Tom Steyer led the fight for Prop 39 and won, earning California billions of dollars for our schools. Tom took on Big Oil to stop them polluting our air and water and smash them. Tom fought for free school lunches so no child goes hungry. Tom Steyer, strong enough to take on the special interests crushing us with the cost of living. As governor, Tom will stop Wall Street from buying up middle-class homes, lower utility rates by 25%, and ban corporate PAC money from our politics. Other politicians talk. Tom Steyer gets it done. Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Dr. Sonja Hughes, Vice President of Community Health. That's Susan G. Komen. Got 3 minutes left in this conversation. You said something a moment ago that leads me to ask 2 questions. The first is this. What evidence are you saying that we are getting better, staying the same, falling off when it comes to black women signing up for these clinical trials?
We're still seeing a lag, and so we continue to educate on the importance of clinical trials, and we do that in a couple ways. We educate the providers so that they offer the clinical trial to all patients who would qualify, and then we continue to educate the patients to know that to trust the trial. When you're in a trial, it's not that you won't get treatment. It's the newer treatment versus the current treatment, which is still a treatment. And I think people feel like they're going to get a placebo, and they won't. So we still lag in being represented equally in clinical trials, and we have to continue to educate folks about exactly what a clinical trial means and does.
I want to close on this note. We started this conversation suggesting, and I think we have proven the point, that there is some promising data. You've proven the point about the promising nature of this data, showing that fewer black women died from breast cancer in 9 major cities over the past decade. The question, though, is how can this be, or in fact, can it be scaled up to save more lives in more municipalities across the country?
Sure. While we celebrate the progress that's been made, we know that black women are still dying more than their white counterparts. So the call to action in this case is first to encourage black women, know your family history, know your normal, know your risks, and ask and know about genetics and breast cancer. If you're not sure what to ask your family, what to ask your doctor, call us, 877-GO-KOMEN or Komen.org. Lastly, we have to continue to improve and leverage community organizations and systems. We work with faith-based organizations, community-based organizations, and we continue to educate providers who serve black women. And we have to continue to ensure policies decrease barriers. Because, as I mentioned, if you have policies that still prevent the access and the care, all of this is for naught. So we celebrate the wins, but there's more work to do because everyone, regardless of race, deserves the opportunity to survive and thrive before and after breast cancer.
Share that contact info one more again, Dr. Hughes.
Absolutely. 877-GO-KOMEN or 877-465-6636 or Komen.org, Komen.org.
They are blessed to have you at Komen, and we are blessed to have had you on this program. Dr. Sonja Hughes, OBGYN herself, Vice President of Community Health at Susan G. Komen, and delighted to hear any good news about black women and breast cancer. Dr. Hughes, thank you for your work and your witness, and honored to have had you on the program.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
More of Tavis when we come forward. In our final hour, we get our laugh on. We could use a little levity around here. Luenell, the original bad girl of comedy on Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The late Reverend Jesse Jackson will be honored this week in Chicago. Faith leaders gathered at Rainbow Push Saturday, blessing blankets for shelters in his memory.
We met a man by the name of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson who has changed Chicago, who has changed America.
Jackson will lie in state Thursday and Friday. A Louisiana parole board has denied release for Tiffany Woods, the black mother imprisoned 18 years after her infant died during Hurricane Katrina when she fed him cow's milk out of desperation. Woods, convicted of second-degree murder, must now wait 5 more years before reapplying for parole. And two-time WNBA champion Kara Braxton has died at 43. The former Detroit Shock star was remembered as a dominant center who helped lead the team to titles in 2006 and 2008. Her cause of death has not yet been confirmed. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
Well, I hang around my boy. He been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
Playing Kyle B.
Don't hit me too hard. Oh yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
We've made it to the third and final hour of our program today. As promised, we're going to get our laugh on in this hour. It's been a rough couple of weeks in Black America. The loss of Jesse Jackson and Dr. Norman Francis at Xavier. Been a rough couple of weeks, but we're going to get our laugh on in this hour, and we could use a little levity right about now. Luenell is back. In fact, she's going to be here in L.A. later this week. She is being honored. It is our honor to honor her. If you're listening across the country right now, here in L.A. at my home station, KBLA Talk 1580, every year we have a big Black History Month luncheon to wrap up the month, and we honor a group of people every year, always a group. And this year we are honoring some legendary comedians, those who make us laugh in tough times, and the original bad girl of comedy. Luenell is one of our honorees this Thursday. We're delighted that she's allowing us to honor her. So this Thursday at the Grammy Museum in downtown L.A. at lunchtime, we are going to honor at our Black History Month luncheon Luenell and other legendary comedians, including Martin Lawrence, D.L. Hughley, Earthquake, Melanie Camacho, and Dion Cole. Going to be a great day this Thursday as we celebrate these amazing comedians. Dr. Cornel West was on the program earlier today. You heard me say then that he's doing a presentation at the luncheon about the role of comedy in the Black tradition, the role of comedy in the Black freedom struggle, what it means to be a people that has to laugh every so often just to keep from crying. So the mayor will be there. Mayor Bass is presenting a special presentation to each of our honorees. So the mayor's going to be there. Cornel West is going to be there. These comedians are going to be, some other celebrities are going to be there. It's going to be a great day, Thursday, as we celebrate these amazing comedians. Luenell, again, one of them. Now, I'm in my feelings already because I ain't never talked to Luenell and she didn't come to see me. So I'm sitting in an empty studio right now, and I'm sitting here just upset that she dare come on this program and not show up in person, number one. But Miles is even having a harder time than I am. Miles, I see Miles through the glass. He's in the studio crying right now because I've aged out. Luenell told me I aged out of her system, but Miles is still in the system, and he's upset that Luenell didn't show up. And we suspect that she ain't here because she's laying up with Al B. Sure right about now, and that's why we started with some Al B. Sure music. So I'm just going to ask Luenell, why you ain't here? How you going to call my show and not show up?
First of all, if you can recall, I have my residency here in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that little residency thing. Forgot about
Sundays, that. On Sundays and Mondays.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So I wouldn't be able to come today. I can't come to town until Tuesday. And I'm also a little bit under the weather, which is, I'm glad this is not till Thursday. I've been in a whole bunch of different climates lately. Mm-hmm. I've been in the snow in New Jersey and the heat in San Antonio and Salt Lake City, more snow, and I'm back. And I'm not at the top of my game right now, but I'll be fine by Thursday. So I couldn't come, baby. That's the only reason, because I work tonight.
I understand. I forgive you. The residency is still going on. Let me start there. I'm gonna get to Al B. Sure, Trust and Malik, because we've all seen.
Oh Lord.
No, oh Lord, nothing. We saw the post. We've seen the post of you and Al B. Sure all hugged up and kissy huggy. We're gonna get to that. Trust me. Before I do that though, the residency. You've done this for quite a while now. Obviously, you must like it because you keep doing it. Tell me what it's like doing a residency in Vegas. I've never done one and likely never will. But tell me about it.
Well, I work for Jimmy Kimmel at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, which is behind the Link Hotel and Casino under the super duper big Ferris wheel in Las Vegas. And this is my 7th year.
Wow.
If you don't count maybe the 2 years that we were out for COVID. And Jimmy actually, if you go on my Instagram, at Luenell, at Luenell, you'll be able to see Jimmy and me last Sunday. Jimmy came to the club. Everybody was so happy. And then the show got crashed by Darius McCrary and Keith Washington. So it was just a heck of a time. And I really adore Jimmy for giving me the opportunity when there's so many comics that people mess with, but for giving me the opportunity to be at his club ever since the doors opened 7 years ago. So I really enjoy it. It's nice to have it's nice to have a home, you know, the place that you call your home. And I like meeting all the tourists because that way you sort of meet people all over the country at the same time, you know?
Yeah. That's got to be one of the great joys of being able to stay in one place and still meet people from all across the country. We'll talk more about the residency. We're going to talk about Al B. Sure. We're going to talk about this Thursday. Talk about her selling out the Apollo for a couple of nights. That was historic. I'm glad she's here. I'm sorry she's on the weather. I can hear it in her voice. So can you. But this is what it means to be a true professional. You show up even when you don't feel well. And for that, we thank Luenell for hanging out with us for the rest of the hour. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavisTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavisTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man.
He's the son of a school teacher and Navy veteran who built a company worth billions and walked away from it. Tom Steyer, pledging to give away half of everything he earned to charity and fight for Californians. So when out-of-state corporations weren't paying their fair share of taxes, Tom Steyer led the fight for Prop 39 and won, earning California billions of dollars for our schools. Tom took on big oil to stop them polluting our air and water and smash them. Tom fought for free school lunches so no child goes hungry. Tom Steyer, strong enough to take on the special interests crushing us with the cost of living. As governor, Tom will stop Wall Street from buying up middle-class homes, lower utility rates by 25%, and ban corporate PAC money from our politics. Other politicians talk. Tom Steyer gets it done. Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in.
But we're okay with that.
You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
I gotta say, I like to fly with the window shade up. Not just over here. Over here too. So I'm an air marshal and all this is me. This road, this is how I do. You know, I like to see the takeoff and the landing. I don't know, I feel like I got something to do with this, you know? And turbulence too. Turbulence come, I'm looking out the window. People be like, Luenell, you can't see turbulence. How you know if you don't look? I might be able to see it. And I'll be like, see, turbulence, told you.
Classic Luenell. She is the original bad girl of comedy, and we are honored to have her on this program. More to the point, we are thrilled to honor her, to celebrate her and her amazing career this Thursday, along with some other amazing comedians, Martin Lawrence, Dion Cole, D.L. Hughley, Earthquake, Monty Camacho, and Luenell, all being feted this Thursday at our annual Black History Month luncheon here in Southern California. If you are around, it's going to be a great day. So, Luenell, let me start by saying thank you for letting us honor you. We're excited about this. How you feeling?
I'm very, very honored because I don't, to be in the room with those very esteemed peers and Cornel West and at the Grammy Museum where I've been to see so many events, to be involved in this one is very, my daughter will be there, and
yay!
I'm very, very, very excited about it.
Yep. I was saying to somebody the other day, and I'd never thought about this. Of course, I came up with the idea, as I do every year, for who we're going to honor at our luncheon. And this year, it just seemed with all the drama that we're dealing with, it just seemed that I wanted to go in different directions. Let me just counter program our luncheon this year. So we're gonna laugh as opposed to crying and commiserating about again all the stuff we're up against right about now. So I decided to do comedians, and glad that everybody that I called and asked to let us honor them said yes to me. They all said yes.
Yeah, because remember when you said that you had Martin coming?
Yep.
And I said, Martin ain't coming. You said, no, everybody has confirmed.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everybody's confirmed. I was like, but you said they had, so I think that's amazing.
No.
And you're right, to be able to bring joy and laughter and happiness to people in such a confusing, sad, conflicting time.
Yeah,
it's a gift. It's a
it
total
is.
gift.
No question. I want to circle back to that gift in a second. I got a question about that, so I'm glad you went there. I was about to say though that when I decided to do the comedians this year, it occurred to me that we have all kinds of award programs for musicians, starting of course with the granddaddy of them all, the Grammys. You got the Grammys, American Music Awards, MTV Awards, BET Awards. There are all kind of programs that honor singers, musicians, artists in that lane. And then you have all kinds of honors for actors. We saw the BAFTAs this weekend in London. Somebody yelled out the N-word when Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan were on stage. That was ugly.
Well, they had Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
I did some research on that, and that person has Tourette syndrome.
So we forgive them for that? We excuse them for that one? Because they got Tourette?
I think that if they can't help it,
okay.
I don't know why that is in the vocabulary of a Tourette syndrome afflicted person.
That's my question. My question is, okay, you can't help it, but why is that word? I'm with Luenell. That's why I love Luenell. Right. Why is that word in your vocabulary, Luenell?
Why they don't yell out honky? I'm just asking.
I'm just asking. She said, I love it. So, yeah. So anyway, I was saying, we got awards for music artists. We have awards for actors. The BAFTAs in London this past weekend. Of course, the Academy Awards. The Oscars are coming up. But it occurred to me, we don't have a regular program or organization or entity that honors comedians. Now, of course, there is the Mark Twain Prize. I got that. But there's nothing similar for comedians, Luenell, like we have for music artists and actors to honor y'all. And so we're excited to do it. But I wish that there were some other way that we could see great comedians honored on the regular.
We do too, for all the miles that we fly.
Yeah.
All the circumstances that we work through. If you have an arena full of people and your mother's in the hospital, you still have to work through that because canceling as a comedian is not really an option.
Yeah. Which leads me to ask, the way you sound right now, and I hear you pushing through your sickness, how you going to get on stage tonight in Vegas?
Well, I did it last night, too.
Yeah.
I just do a lot of teas and hot toddies and bronchial cough syrups, and I just had to push through.
Yeah.
That's the thing about being a comic. If you're not really cut out for this business, if you can't push through,
yeah,
people are depending on you. I'm not Anita Baker. Anita Baker didn't show up for Mother's Day and still ain't said nothing about it. You know? So so I'm gonna show up, even if I have to cough through, which I did last night. But the people tend to be on your side when they know that you're there for them, even though you don't feel well, you know?
Yeah. Now, that reminds me, I'm laughing now, and you'll appreciate this. Luenell and I are both music lovers. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. We hung out a few weeks ago, and Luenell and me, Luenell and yours truly, I should say Luenell and I, we, to be grammatically correct, we spent a whole Saturday hanging out. I went and picked her up.
It was great.
Yeah, I went and picked her up, and I'll tell you, we'll come back to that. I picked her up, and we hung out.
It was a date.
It was a date. Yeah, okay. We
you may not want to call it a date,
no,
but it was a date.
I can work with that. We had a date. I took Luenell on a date. And it was an all-day date. We spent the whole day together. I'll tell you about that in a second here. But before I push too far afield, when you mentioned that you're drinking all kinds of teas and hot toddies, you know I got to ask. Everybody makes the hot toddy differently. What does Luenell put in her hot toddy?
Well, we have this tea that has mullein in it, and that mullein helps you extract the phlegm. And of course, you know, there's honey and lemon and maybe a little Crown Royal. I don't know. You know.
Maybe a little Crown Royal. She don't know.
Maybe a little Crown, but we're not drinking it for the fun effects of the Crown.
Yeah,
we're drinking it to break through, you know, our chest for real.
I get you. For medicinal purposes, I get it.
Totally.
Totally. Let me circle back to this word gift that you used earlier, because it really is a gift. I had the honor of going to see Luenell. What's the club? Flappers. Is it Flappers out in Burbank?
Yes.
Yeah.
Burbank. Yes.
So I took our KBLA team. So a bunch of people here at the station here in LA. I called Luenell, so I'm bringing my team. We do team activities here and there as often as we can. So I took a bunch of did I already tell you about the time I took my team to see Prince in Vegas? Luenell, I'll tell you that story.
No.
I'll tell you that later.
Okay.
Luenell's a Prince lover. I took my entire team to see Prince, and they didn't know what they were going to do. I'll tell you about that in a second.
Wow.
But anyway, when he was doing his residency in Vegas, as she's doing her residency in Vegas now at Jimmy Kimmel. But anyway, I went to see Luenell at Flappers out here in Burbank, and it was amazing. I mean, she totally killed, which, again, everybody knows how amazing she is. But I took my team, and we laughed our behind off. All of us were sitting there. I'm looking at Miles and Faraji through the glass. They were with us that night. Did we not, guys? We had an amazing, everybody's nodding, waving their hand, giving thumbs up. We had an amazing time watching Luenell at Flappers. So when you mentioned that it is a gift, it really is a gift to watch you and other great comedians work. And I feel grateful. I feel grateful that I have had the opportunity for 30 plus years now on television and radio to come into people's homes, into their lives, to try to empower them with information, to help them re-examine the assumptions they hold, help them expand their inventory of ideas, help them, Luenell, see the world through a different prism. That is my gift. That is my work. That is my witness. That is my ministry. But I am so, as you know, I love you and I just love comedy, period. But I am always so enamored at comedians and the gift that they get to exercise. To your point, it's not just if your mama's in the hospital, you still got to go on stage. You're talking to a lot of folk in the audience who are coming to see you precisely because there's stuff happening in their lives right now that they do not want to focus on. And they're coming to see you to rid themselves of that burden for at least an hour or so. But it really is a gift for you to bring laughter into people's lives. How have you processed that gift that you were blessed to have?
And also, the material that I'm doing now is different than the material that you saw when you came to see me. Because I took January off. January off. And during that time, I wrote a new show, which is pretty hilarious, I must say. So when you see me again, it'll be different material. I don't know how the gift came about. I really don't, because I totally had a pretty difficult and sad early years. But that's why I call it a gift, because you can't curate humor. It's in you, you know? And the people that I'm being honored with, they're some of the greatest ones. And I'm so honored to be in their company. And they have to come up with years and years and years and years of material, you know? And me too. And so it's, I don't know what to say. I think that us comedians, we see things differently, you know? We see things, like I was at my mother's funeral and I was sitting in the front row, a casket 5 feet from me. I was bent over, heaving. Everybody was rubbing my back. They thought I was crying, but I was really laughing because my mother's friend wanted to sing at the funeral. And I told her she could, not knowing that this heifer could not sing. And then she wanted to do 5 verses. And I was like, oh my God, my mother's going to get up and slap the heck out of this woman. So, you know, you have to we find some of the humor in some of the craziest situations.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. That mantra, that nomenclature, the original bad girl of comedy, where'd that come from?
A promoter in Oakland, California, named Rick Sullivan gave me that name many, many years ago because I used to be a bad girl. I used to drink a lot. I had the habit of slapping the heck out of somebody in the club, and I went to jail for a while, and did the whole drug thing. It was Oakland, and Oakland was the Wild Wild West. 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And so he gave me that name, and that name just stuck. And I like it because at least you get a clue of who you're going to be messing with when you come to see me.
No, it is a clue.
Yeah. It
is a clue, and you honor it every time I see you. You always honor it. She is the original bad girl of comedy. So the Apollo, I think I mentioned this last time you were here, but for those who don't know, I want to raise it again because again we're honoring Luenell this Thursday here in LA at our annual Black History Month luncheon, and we're going to say a few nice things about her, as will others, I suspect. But one of the things that certainly is top of my list is you selling out that Apollo for a couple of nights. That was historic, and it speaks again to your reach and to your to the audience that you built up, that you can go sell out the Apollo for multiple nights. Tell me about that.
Well, it was one of the most momentous occasions of my career. They told me that I made history that first night that I sold it out. I said, well, how, And they said that there had not been another Black female comedian sell out the Apollo since 1968 when Moms Mabley did it. And I said, you got to be kidding. What about Whoopi? What about Wanda? They said, no, they go to the Beacon Theater. The Beacon Theater is larger. You got to make more money. But I did not do this to make money. I did this so that I could see my name on the same marquee as the Manhattans, as the Whispers, as Millie Jackson, as James Brown, as Aretha. And then my daughter could see my name up there as well. Plus, something incredible happened back in the days when Mark Curry and stuff was hosting the Apollo. My daughter's father was a comedian before me, and he performed at the Apollo on amateur night. Then when I performed at the Apollo for the second night, my daughter's a professional dancer, and I had her open the show for me with her dancers. So now my daughter's father, her mother, and her, we have all performed at the Apollo Theater.
Wow, that is...
And for a West Coast comic to go to the East Coast and sell it out, like I wasn't there with the boys. It was me, my name. And that was just, I'll never forget it, ever in my life.
She is the original bad girl of comedy. She's being honored here in L.A. later this week with some other amazing comedians at our annual Black History Month luncheon. When we come forward, we're going to talk about that date that we had. We spent the whole day together, I should say, on a Saturday. We got a funny story about Glodine, a story about Tom Joyner, a story about Prince I need to tell, and we're going to make Luenell talk about this Al B. Sure situation. What is that about? No, hold it. Just wait. She's trying to get in right now. No, when we come forward, you're going to tell us about this. We saw the video. We saw y'all hugged up and kissed up and all that. What's the Al B. Sure thing about? Luenell on Tavis Smiley.
helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The late Reverend Jesse Jackson will be honored this week in Chicago. Faith leaders gathered at Rainbow Push Saturday, blessing blankets for shelters in his memory.
We met a man by the name of Reverend Jesse Jackson, who has changed Chicago, who has changed America.
Jackson will lie in state Thursday and Friday. A Louisiana parole board has denied release for Tiffany Woods, the black mother imprisoned 18 years after her infant died during Hurricane Katrina when she fed him cow's milk out of desperation. Woods, convicted of second-degree murder, must now wait 5 more years before reapplying for parole. And two-time WNBA champion Kara Braxton has died at 43. The former Detroit Shock star was remembered as a dominant center who helped lead the team to titles in 2006 and 2008. Her cause of death has not yet been confirmed. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
Head to Waba Grill weekdays after 3 p.m. for their $5 happy hour and try their new chili crisp dumplings. Bold, crunchy, and toss in a fiery crisp paired with a premium Wab beverage drink like their authentic Thai tea. Get both for just $5 only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten team to have an undefeated regular season since Maryland did it in 2015. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list. And everyone on that list will receive early access and special discounts when enrollment opens. After almost 40 years of interviewing world leaders and cultural icons, I am teaching everything I know. Don't miss your chance to be in the next room. Go to TavisTalks.com and get on the waiting list right now. That's TavisTalks.com. The conversation continues. Will you be part of it?
Yeah, man. I am somebody.
This Friday night, KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to gather with us as we honor a legend. Join us at 7 p.m. at the historic First AME Church for a celebration of life for the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr., civil rights leader and tireless champion for justice. For decades, Reverend Jackson stood on the front lines of change, fighting for voting rights, economic opportunity, and equality for all. Now, the community comes together to reflect, to remember, and to celebrate a life that helped shape a nation. Music, prayer, powerful tributes. That's this Friday, February 27th at First AME Church in Los Angeles, 2270 South Harvard Boulevard. For details and coverage, stay with KBLA Talk 1580.
I am black, beautiful, proud. I am somebody.
KBLA
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Coming to terms with the fact that I'm getting older. I'm not old, I'm getting older. I'm eventually going to be old at some point. But, you know, there's a lot of different things that go on when you get older. I date younger men. I'm not a cougar. Like, I don't go out stalking these guys. I'm more like a panther. They're stalking me. You know what I'm saying? It gets kind of awkward, though, sometimes if you're an older chick dating a younger guy. Like, my boyfriend currently is 16 years younger than me. And, you know, it's sort of awkward sometimes when you have to say, baby, get the condoms. They're in the medicine cabinet next to my blood pressure medicine. And I also had to come to the terms that, you know, having the handicap plaque is nothing to be ashamed of. That's like a Visa card here in Los Angeles. Valet parking everywhere. Like, put that plaque up. I got it in my purse. Put it up. Park over there. Right there.
It's more classic Luenell. She will be here in L.A. on Thursday for our annual Black History Month luncheon. My home station, this program, of course, is heard across the country. I have to always say that, and for that I am grateful. But my home station in L.A. does a Black History Month luncheon every year, and we honor a stellar group of people every year. And this year we are honoring the comedians who make us laugh in tough times. And that list includes Luenell, Martin Lawrence, Earthquake, D.L. Hughley, Dion Cole, and Melanie Camacho. We are honored to celebrate them this Thursday with Mayor Bass, who is making a special presentation to each of the comedians. Dr. Cornel West there with a special presentation. In case you've just tuned in, I mentioned earlier, he's going to present on what it means to be black and how we have had to laugh as part of the black freedom struggle so many times when we wanted to cry. It's going to be a great day in L.A. at the Grammy Museum this Thursday at 12 noon for our annual Black History Month luncheon. And we are thrilled, delighted, honored that Luenell is going to join us and let us love on her this Thursday. Speaking of loving on you, see what I did there, Luenell?
I see how you did that.
See what I did there? So what's up with this Al B. Sure situation? What is this? Because Miles and I, we ain't happy about it.
Oh, Lord. Well, you know, I asked him, do as many people ask him about me as many people ask me about him. And what I'm trying to figure out is, what is the exact issue? Mm-hmm. Like, who would everybody like to see him with if not me? Mm-hmm. A 17-year-old Instagram model, a white girl, a tranny? Like what? I don't need him to buy me purses. We've got our own homes. We're both independent. Mm-hmm. We've been friends for over 15 years. Mm-hmm. You know, he changed the dynamic of this relationship, not me. And so I was with it. You know what I mean? I'm with it. Okay, let's go.
But here's my question though: how is it that some other persons have aged out of your program, but Al B. Sure has not?
Well, because he's Al B. Sure.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought the answer was gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna age out. If he's 70, he's still gonna be Al B. Sure, you know. And because you know, just to be a nice R&B romantic soft guy, you know, he's been through a lot. We both have physically. Excuse me, you know, he needs somebody that he can trust because you know, this situation he had took him to the brinks of death. And I was there during that time. I was one of the people that was allowed to speak into his ear when he was in the coma. And he did not forget that. And he said that he could hear me, which is a good thing to know, that people in comas can possibly hear you. And so, you know, I think that it just came a time when, you know, nobody wants to be alone forever. And we both live in different states. We're not laid up, as you say, every day.
Not every day is key phrase, right? Key word, every day. Not every day.
Yeah, not every day. But, you know, we do spend time together. And he is supposed to be attending the event with me on Thursday.
Okay.
Whether he does or not, we'll see, because I know that he just got back in town. And you know, we'll see, because I don't want to be around him if I'm sick. You know, he's very delicate, honey.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be around him if I'm sick. But hopefully today's only Monday.
Yeah.
And I still got 3 days to nurse on myself and get myself together for the event.
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited and pleased to be included in this. Like you say, they don't honor, you know, comics.
Yeah.
They don't honor, you know, all the miles we fly, all the shows we do, all the tickets we sell. Nobody honors that.
Yeah.
And then they tend to use the same people for the same thing. Like, God bless Dion Cole, he's hosting everything right now. And then they get into a thing where they just use one person.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are honoring us and that I'm able to be included, it just touches my heart, because usually I'm on the sidelines watching.
Yeah, but you're gonna be in the center of the ring on Thursday. Center of the ring. We're gonna love on you Thursday. But
I'm gonna be the brightest thing in the room.
I know you will be. But I must say though, so it's okay to bring your cold to me, but you don't want to bring it to Al B. Sure. Is that what you said?
I didn't have no cold when I was with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know I ain't had no cold. We ran all over town.
We did. We had a great time. So I picked up Luenell on a Saturday morning some weeks ago, and she was in town. And we literally hung out all day. We went to
eat Thai food.
We did. We had Thai food, and we hung out, and I had to run some errands. I said, Luenell, you can't run errands with me. She said, Negro, please. So I was running errands, and Luenell is running these errands with me.
Different highlights in Hancock Park.
Yeah, but I was right, though, about Luenell hanging with me, because I'm trying to run errands, and every time we get out the car and these Negroes see Luenell, you know what happens, right? So
yeah, you went to go get the car and you came back and there was
a crowd of people.
A situation.
Yeah, there was a situation that I had to get in the middle of, but it was fun to hang out with her. But people love her. I was glad to see that firsthand. Again, not surprised, but people love Luenell, and every time.
Which has been a situation that has kept me from dating, because a lot of guys just can't take that. They can't take that. That every time we go out, somebody's on me. They don't want to be the photographer.
Yeah.
They don't want to be the security.
Well, I was feeling some sort of way myself. I got tired of it.
Does that mean we can't go out again?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I got to pray on that one.
Oh, Lord.
But we did.
Okay,
but while we were hanging out, though, in the car, I love music. Luenell loves music. So we're listening to music. And so we're listening and talking, and we're playing Barry White. And I said, let's call Glodine. Glodine is good friends with Luenell. So we called Glodine. and we drove around some more, talked about something else. Tom Joyner's name came up. We called Tom Joyner.
Yeah.
So it was a fascinating day of just hanging out, running errands, having lunch with Luenell, and calling friends of ours who were shocked that we were together, calling them. But it was a great day. When Luenell was in this studio, I'm trying what year that was. So I've been doing this for 5 years now. Anyway, a couple years ago, Luenell was here in studio. And as an honor to her, because I love Luenell, I had them bring my Prince guitar out of the vault.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
And I handed it to her.
Not just a Prince guitar.
Yeah.
The one that he played in the rain at Super Bowl.
That's right.
The purple one.
That's right. So I got
pictures with that.
I brought it out the vault and had it brought in studio. Luenell held on to it for the entire hour conversation. That guitar sat in her lap, all kinds of pictures. She posted it. It went viral like crazy. Anyway, that guitar is going to the Met. I'll tell you about that when we come forward. Luenell, that may be our next date, Luenell. We'll go to New York together, to the Met, and I'll tell you why we're going to go there. You're listening to Tavis, Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas.
Everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We got to laugh the pain away.
Hey, KBLA delegation, happy Black History Month. Around here, we celebrate our culture, our community, and our contributions daily. But this year, as we observe the 100th anniversary of Black History Month celebrations, we're excited about our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, honoring comedy greats. On Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum in downtown LA, we're toasting D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Luenell, Dion Cole, and Martin Lawrence with a surprise guest appearance. A limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon remain, so now would be a good time to head to KBLA1580.com to secure one for yourself. That's KBLA1580.com. A little laughter goes a long way, especially in times like these. So come, join us for our annual KBLA Talk 1580 Black History Month Luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. Again, tickets are available right now at KBLA1580.com.
I hang around my boy. He been married for 6 years. Videotaping his wedding day, never watched it. Now every day he watch it every day, but he watch it in reverse. Because he said he loves seeing himself take that ring back off of that finger. Walking back down that aisle, just waving at her ugly mother down the church. Getting back in the limo, back at the bachelor party. Look how happy I was.
KBLA Talk 1580 thanks LA City Council members Curran D. Price Jr. and Heather Hutt for being the presenting sponsors at this year's Black History Month Luncheon. Honoring excellence, resilience, and achievement, we're KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in.
But we're okay with that.
You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed with the original Bad Girl of Comedy, Luenell, a bit under the weather today, but a true pro. She showed up, and we've enjoyed this hour with her, as we always do. Typically, she's in studio, but she has her residency at Jimmy Kimmel's Club in Vegas, and so she'll be headed to L.A. later this week after she wraps her every week residency there to join us in L.A. at the Grammy Museum on Thursday. for us to just love on her and celebrate her and this amazing career that she's had alongside, again, some other pretty amazing comedians. We are excited to see Luenell in L.A. On Thursday, lunch at the Grammy Museum. Before I move past, I'll come back to Prince in a second here, I promise. But I was going to mention this earlier. You know, I don't know if you know this, but there are like all kinds of articles that have been written about the Al B. Sure thing. And I read one last night in preparation for our conversation today, and I just want to reference it right quick. And this is a piece, and here's the title. It says, "The problem isn't Luenell dating Al B. Sure. It's society's fear of unapologetically curvy black women over 60 still being sexy and desired." The subhead says, "What unsettles people about Luenell and Al B. Sure is not their relationship. It is the reminder that love does not have a look." That's just one of a bunch of articles I read in preparation for our dialogue today. You care to comment on that particular headline, Luenell?
I think that's very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see what the big deal is. I think that also being a comedian female, people don't think about us in that way. The men always have a woman at home, a woman that goes on the road with them. They always have support.
Mm-hmm.
But as females, do not all the time. And especially somebody, you know, this is like what you call a power couple, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to talk about it as much as I've been asked to, because I don't want to exploit our relationship.
Sure.
It's a very tender, very sweet, very loving relationship. And, you know, like I said earlier, he needs somebody around him that he can trust.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really looking for exploitation. I'm not really looking for fame. I've got that on my own, you know?
Yep.
So it's just something that clicked into the zeitgeist of society. And, you know, we got to talk about it. I want somebody to interview him and talk about me.
Well, if he shows up on Thursday, I will book him on the show. I haven't seen him in a while in person, but if he shows up Thursday, I'll book him on the show and I'll ask him about you. So I will do that for you, no question about it. But I was just fascinated that I didn't realize until, again, I'm prepping for our conversation today, that so many people, I mean, have written some pretty serious articles about this, and I read a bunch of them last night. So it was yes,
and some of them were very wonderful and insightful, and some of them were kind of hurtful and salacious.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I know these women been, you know, fawning over him for, you know, 35 years, 40 years. I know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, you know, these are crushes. You know, 80% of the people who write and see him had the album, had him on their wall, and all that stuff, and I get it. So I'm not, that's another thing. I'm not worried or jealous or anything like that. We have a really nice, comfortable relationship.
Yeah.
And I hope it remains that way for a long time.
I hope so too. So when we come forward, I'm going to talk about the trip that we're going to go to New York on together. So that's Luenell, Al B. Sure, and me. we go head to New York to see the Prince guitar when it goes on display at the Met. I'll tell you about that when we come forward in our remaining moments with Luenell. Long Tavis, Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Faye Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other other sites in the South LA area, the Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Created with a share of the 1984 Olympic Games surplus, LA 84 began operations in 1985 as a grant-making and educational foundation. Today, the LA 84 Foundation supports hundreds of nonprofit youth sports organizations throughout Southern California annually, trains coaches, commissions research, convenes conferences, and maintains the world's premier Olympic and sports library collection. They are transforming lives and communities through the power of youth sports. To find out about youth sports programs for yourself or your child, and to get information about the grants and support they offer to schools and nonprofits, or if you want to make a donation, please visit la84.org. That's la84.org. Or you can call them at 323-730-4600. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley in the original Bad Girl of Comedy, Luenell, for the next 3 minutes before we wrap today's program. So, Luenell, we've done it in L.A. We hung out in L.A. Let's go to New York and hang out. I always update Luenell on all the Prince news because she's such a huge Prince fan. She has a Prince tattoo on her left hand, right hand? Left hand.
My right hand, my microphone hand.
That's right.
Michael bad on my
left hand. That's right. You got Prince on the right and Michael on the left. So the Met in New York City, love the Met. They're doing a huge exhibition this summer. As we all know, sadly, this is the 10th anniversary of Prince's passing. So we are at year 10 now. The Met's doing a huge exhibit this summer. I don't even know if they've announced it publicly, but I'm telling you on the radio here that I agreed to loan the guitar to the Met. And so they are literally on their way to L.A. in a couple of weeks to pick it up. They're going to escort it back to New York, and it's going to be on display at the Met in a huge exhibition all summer long. So it hasn't been out of my presence, out of my possession for that long since I had it. So I'm feeling some sort of way about that. But I did loan it to the Met. If you can't trust the Met, you can't trust nobody. So
absolutely. And one more thing.
Sure.
The outfit that I wore for my Netflix comedy special is being donated next month to the African American Museum, Smithsonian in D.C.
How cool is that?
So I have a donation that's going to be going on as well.
I love that. That's
crazy.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
I love that so many black people of stature in all sorts of in all kinds of fields of human endeavor are supporting that museum with artifacts. And so I celebrate you for giving that to them because it will, one, enshrine you in that museum, obviously, but also that museum only exists if those of us who have memorabilia that's worthy of being seen and being shared donate to the museum. So I'm glad to know that you're donating there. Speaking of outfits, let me close with this. Have you picked out your outfit for this Thursday yet? Or you still got to figure it out?
No, I've got it figured out.
Okay.
I've worn it a couple of times, but it's so fabulous that I'm gonna wear it again. And it will. Like I said, I'll be the brightest, sparkliest person in the room, no doubt about it.
Well, you shine no matter what you wear. You are sparkly no matter what you wear. Your personality, your style, your vibe. It's a beautiful thing to behold, and we are excited to be honored, to be able, I should say, to honor Luenell and again Melanie Camacho, Dion Cole, D.L. Hughley, Earthquake, and Martin Lawrence. They will all be there this Thursday as we celebrate these comedic legends as they ought to be celebrated.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I will see you Thursday. I'll give you a big hug and put my arms around your neck, and I'm glad that you're coming to see us on Thursday, Luenell. Take care of yourself.
Not around my neck. Don't choke me out, Tavis.
Oh, I know. I didn't mean like that. I ain't gonna choke you out. Gotta be like that. Let me just say, in closing, I am grateful to you. I know what this is like. I've been there many times in my career, and it's easy to cancel on a conversation that's already booked, on an appearance that you've already committed to. It's easy to cancel, but you don't feel yourself. I get that, and you pushed through this thing for the hour, and you still made us laugh. So thank you for being a trooper. I love you even more just for doing that, Luenell. I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you, honey.
All
Thank
right.
you, baby.
See you soon.
And I'll see everybody on Thursday.
All right, there you have it. 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for listening to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The late Reverend Jesse Jackson will be honored this week in Chicago. Faith leaders gathered at Rainbow Push Saturday, blessing blankets for shelters in his memory.
We met a man by the name of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson who has changed Chicago, who has changed America.
Jackson will lie in state Thursday and Friday. A Louisiana parole board has denied release for Tiffany Woods, the black mother imprisoned 18 years after her infant died during Hurricane Katrina when she fed him cow's milk out of desperation. Woods, convicted of second-degree murder, must now wait 5 more years before reapplying for parole. And two-time WNBA champion Kara Braxton has died at 43. The former Detroit Shock star was remembered as a dominant center who helped lead the team to titles in 2006 and 2008. Her cause of death has not yet been confirmed. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Visit the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon for the Kilo of Gold giveaway. Drawings every Thursday in February. Visit Hard Rock Casino Tejon, the easiest drive from downtown LA. The excitement starts here at the new Hard Rock Casino Tejon.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a tough day Sunday for both of LA's NBA teams. The Lakers lost by 22 at home to Boston. The Clippers lost by 2 at home to the Orlando Magic. Benedict Mathurin almost made a three-pointer at the buzzer that would have won it for the Clippers. The loss spoiled a great performance from Kawhi Leonard, 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Lakers had LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves in the lineup, but the offense was still shaky. Boston's bench outscored the Lakers' bench 45-25. Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. UCLA clinched the Big Ten Conference title Sunday with an 80-60 win over Wisconsin. 19 points and 14 rebounds for Lauren Betts. The Bruins have won 21 straight. If they beat USC next Sunday, they'll be the first Big Ten.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I have some news. The room is full. Our founding members cohort on the art of conversation has begun, and I could not be more energized by the professionals who said yes to mastering the craft. Their dedication to curating great conversations reminds me why I do this work. Now, if you wanted to join us and did not make it in time, I want you to hear this. The next cohort is coming. I do not have the firm dates yet, but I do have a waiting list, and everyone on that list will receive